The climate debate continues to rage on. Joining us is Fernando Morales-Wilhelm, the chair of the Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Science at the University of Maryland, and Mark Morano, the executive director and chief correspondent of ClimateDepot.com. Guys, we had to have you back. You had a raging debate last time about the climate. I want to go to this soundbite of Greta Thunberg. All the rage now in climate circles. Watch.
I don't understand why grown-ups would choose to mock children and teenagers for just communicating and acting on the science.
Mark, why do you want to mock children for just communicating on the science?
I don't want to mock children for communicating. I want to express severe disappointment with the parents of kids who are allowing them not just to skip school and march in the street and take on an adult's responsibility, but the same parents are allowing kids to join lawsuits against the federal government. They're allowing their kids to believe that the governments can alter the climate and regulate storms, and that they believe that the government will have to control the climate in order to save their future. Parents used to shield kids from from big adult decisions like finances and other things. Now it seems like parents are recruiting them with disastrous results. 51% of kids think the world's going to end in 15 years of young people.
Fernando, an important topic here. Has the climate cult decided that children are off limits, so they're propping up children to deliver the message that anyone else would probably get, fairly rough rebuking from?
Yeah, I think I agree. It's very weird the way this is unfolding with children on the streets. And I mean, on one hand, I don't want to fault children for trying to express their sentiments and their concern, which could be very valid. But it's very strange to see. I'm a parent, like many others, and I have two daughters who are very engaged. And I'm still. To be honest, I'm still grappling with how I deal with this. Are you
concerned that we're scaring the bejesus out of young people? I mean, during one of these climate protests here in Washington, there was video of children, young people saying, "We're going to die in 12 years if we don't eliminate carbon from our atmosphere."
No, absolutely. I do think that's actually a good way to put it. Being that the climate problem, I think it's serious, but I also think it can be solved. It can be addressed with a number of things. I don't think we're conveying the positive side of that equation to the younger generations, and that worries me as a parent and as a citizen.
Mark, you know what bothers me as someone who has spent the better part of 20 years talking about climate, and frankly on your side saying, I think there's a lot of money to be had by climatologists, by scientists who are looking for that payoff to continue funding their research or whatever they want to do, and the way they get that is to create hysteria around the climate. Yes. What are we telling our kids now? Do you have children?
Yes.
Are you concerned about what they're hearing from these climate people?
I really am. In fact, it's really refreshing. I'm happy to hear the professor here say that, because many of his colleagues, people like Michael Mann, the Penn State professor, UN top scientist, just signed a letter urging colleges across America to declare a climate emergency on campus. He's University of Maryland. I doubt University of Maryland will do that. But, we need more scientists like him, because he's the voice of reason against these other ones who are egging these kids on. And it's such a gross disservice to children, robbing them of their innocence in childhood and making them think they can control.
Look at you flip sides. Fernando, you're on the other side.
Wait, don't get too excited. I do have to take issue on the comment that scientists are creating this this aura of emergency to get more funds, etc. I do take issue with that, because I don't think it's true. I don't think it's accurate. I do think that unfortunately the climate debate has been sort of sequestered by the majority of individuals who are not scientists. I mean, last time I was here, I said, and I restate that, I don't think people like Al Gore are the best spokesperson for climate. Neither is Greta, but they're not ill-intentioned.
Or Leonardo DiCaprio, who flies his private jets into these events. By the way, have you seen the trash that is left behind when these events end? Final thought, Mark, where are we headed with this? Keep our kids out of our climate debate.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to use kids as human shields. In other words, you put up young teenagers, and then if anyone says anything, oh, how dare you attack a kid? Well, you're putting them at key UN speeches. You're putting them at rallies. You're bringing them to United Nations summits.
So, Fernando, you evil climate people.
I'm going to tell you, so scientists are not doing this. We're trying to bring the science into, and the facts forward and have people try to understand them. I think, unfortunately, like I said, I think people are just you're going to the extremes, making conclusions too quickly.
It's people like me.
Yeah,
It's people like
and
me.
and then things get derailed.
People like me. This didn't get derailed, but thank you very much, Fernando and Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, Fernando and Mark.